بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. First of all, let me join others in thanking you for attending ISNA's 61st Annual Convention. It wouldn't be a convention without you. You make the convention possible. But all good things must come to an end, and so does a convention. The question we have been asked is, what do we take home from this convention? Other speakers, Imam Majid, Dr. Zainab Albani, Sheikh Abdul Idris, have given us valuable perspectives on this gathering of speakers, intellectuals, activists, community leaders, and most importantly, you, the attendees. Allow me to share another perspective on what this convention may mean to us all. I attended my first convention in 1972, over a half century ago. Since then, I have missed only one because of being out of the country. One thing I have learned in half a century of convention attending is there's a convention, especially ISNA's convention, is all about community. A community that is informed, a community that is inspired, a community that is motivated, a community of Muslims committed to securing its place in the American public square. This convention, as all 60 before it, is also an opportunity to renew our determination with knowledge and redirect our energy with passion and reposition ourselves to secure that goal of being the best community in the society at large. Now, at the end of it all, as we return to our home, we wonder what is next. Let's ask ourselves, how do we go from knowledge, experience, and motivation that we have gained in this convention to action that might enhance our personal development and our desire to benefit others? But before we answer these questions, let's ask ourselves what goals and our expectations what we were thinking of before coming to the convention. Did we change our goals and expectations as we savored new experiences and new inspiration? A river is never the same as it flows down its path. Similarly, the ISNA convention is always a new experience, familiar but new. We experienced the convention in many different ways. We reflected on those experiences when we could, positive or otherwise. We stayed focused. When there were options, we chose a session thoughtfully. We took notes when we could, asked questions when permitted, and discussed with some other participants after the session what we had heard. We also roamed the hallways between sessions, sometimes even during sessions, connected with old friends and made new ones. We walked around in crowded bazaars, lanes, seeking stimulation, opportunities to get involved, and yes, bargains galore. And yes, we didn't sidestep social opportunities around a lunch table, perhaps, or just while walking around. We were surprised at what we learned in such a relaxed setting. It was a good opportunity for making a human connection as opposed to meeting on a telephone screen. Now, as we approach the end, we need to reflect on how to capitalize on our unique experience, translate these experiences into goals that are worthy of our effort and commitment, fine-tune them so that they become specific and achievable. But our experiences may be overwhelming, and we might shrug them off, saying, well, that's too much for us to do. Surely, you have heard the question, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, of course. So let's break our goals into smaller, chewable bites that we can tackle. Setting goals is great. Achieving them is what matters. We connected with old friends and shared our ideas and ideals. We had the opportunity to learn from those who knew more than we did, but also from each other as we reacted to what we heard. Those of us who are committed to specific causes they hold dear learned how to advance their causes, and who at the convention could partner with them. Expanding that circle of associates inspires us and adds knowledge and energy to our own efforts. We learn from and teach one another. A convention like this is not only a measure of the growth of our community, but also a harbinger of what we can look forward to. The hustle bustle of families with children in tow speaks to a future filled with promise of social, cultural, and religious sustainability. There is no more welcoming indicator of sustained growth than children excited about what is to come next. In our own family, young children who have their own children now began a new year with the end of a convention, counting days for a return to the next one, 365, 364, 363, and so on. Here, let me share a story about two little children who attended their first ISNA convention in Chicago last year. They enjoyed themselves and felt at home in the crowd of people who perhaps looked like a big family to them. Back at home, they happened to be talking to each other about where they will live when they grow up. The 6-year-old girl told her 9-year-old brother that she will live in Chicago and be the person who makes the convention happen. In that exchange is hidden the kernel of a community's future. Perhaps Chicago represented to her a cocoon of safety and comfort. The thought of a person making the convention happen represented to her the deliberate and measured effort to create that cocoon. Together, they represented her aspiration for and a vision of a future that will be, or at least what that ought to be. The ISNA convention speaks not only to those who are here, but also to those who are not here, as well as to those who do not identify with their community of faith. It broadcasts a message to all that we return from this convention with a sense of hope, resilience, and commitment. Let me point to one more thing. Some of us may have wondered why the theme of the convention is the Muslim American in the singular, not the Muslim Americans in the plural. No, it's not a typing error. The singular case was intended to place the mantle of responsibility and action and results on each of us as an individual. Each one of us must reflect on our experience here, and each one of us must ask myself, what is my role, my responsibility, and what should be my effort in moving the needle further and securing our place in the American public square? Always remember the saying, everyone's responsibility is no one's responsibility. Everyone's responsibility is no one's responsibility. That's why the singular. Until we meet again at the 62nd convention in Chicago, let our responsibility be our guiding light. But let me also quickly say a couple of more words. Let's find our passion. When we go home, in a nutshell, let's find our passion unless we already have a passion for a cause. Let's focus on our piece of the jigsaw puzzle that is the Muslim community. Only when all pieces are put together, we will form the puzzle that the community is that we want to seek, that we seek to live in. No piece is unimportant, no piece is too important. Let's remember everyone's responsibility is no one's responsibility. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.